Yo, ashefo michiamo enenso nyame ayadom ama yehia biem. UTV emra no sesen na yede ebremu medin de Nana Ekua Asanteba Mensa. Enne yenkomo twetwe a ye ba bedi efa offenses concerning the administration of justice. Na as usual no mene emrenim ni em say mota ahuno ewo ye programming so lawyer Oxford or say bonsu or private legal practitioner na ba betwetwe nkomo ye kwaje nkrato ye ba pe na chese ye de adwumade no ahye so pepepe ye nkomra ewo UTV so na oguso awuhwe ti se na mekan ne akwaje nkrato na ba na ene ye nkomo no offenses concerning the administration of justice. Say ebia ye di asema na ye pe justice no ye pe ye fen say me hu say na me kan lawyer we dey obeboa me ye pe fa hudie bia na say bibisa no some of the things and say ye bu asem some of the boning kiti bia as say ye tumi ye de bata ho a etumi ha sebe the outcome of assemna ye di no eno ho enkomo na me ba be kan we as ne twi no ne kaka nte na mo me say ye enkomo no ekopro bebre a mo say ase kaka why me lawyer Oxford or say bonsu he's a private legal practitioner me no ene wo studio mu ha ene lawyer e bia na o twi no ukwe ni mu chan me ai it's what you kasa administration of justice administration of justice asie HSN
medas nana na dedika no mechia ya hwefo ne ya ma omunyina aha sido sika no emse twi na ka ne ka no sisi da be din ba be force ne ka twi no eje ka justice se ubebu aten amana tene nti no omo mututwo me kana tene na ubu aten you want to judge somebody you want to opese wo hwe se nipa no waye emfumso ana waye bone no awo ka no but bone no awo be kan se waye ni mu no obese bu aten no achia no nti efe injustice aten no achia na the process ekwan ya be fa so a obaba arrive at se wabu aten na mana e papa anya so akobu aten na mana achia no eno na wo kan ya na afa no administration of justice but esan say eye adwumadie na emra no amma ni party tru bi a omo ho tumi ene ho omo ho kwan a omo de alesa adwumadie no eye say protect omo nti emra ni protect omo ana emra ni che say in their protection no enoma bi a obetuma ye against them oh yeah there will be offenses and those offenses no obey in the process of say a judge no obebu aten no and if no offenses against the administration of justice
me sure say for if you lawyer no what twi na see papa enti ye wo answer na ye be call administration no sene a ye be boa no and as sene a kwan a ye be fa so process ne ma no obetumi atwetwe mu offenses me sure say ya boss an komo ho da but for the purposes of a discussion na ye ba be have enti obetumi atwetwe mu kakra different categories of offenses ye wo under this you can say administration yes.
Okay, all right. So now me feel say we hear no offenses, general offenses.
What am I general offenses? Yes. Na afi.
And it's a offer. Me book in a my use no amana yese. Na adi agroche pa. And it's a offer. For instance, you have a Criminal Offences Act, Act 29, and a brief me catch or say or substantive law no, and a procedure. Now the two works together, and it's the substantive law no, and the better specific offenses. And it's all here more. We are categorizing po. Into your free be suicide and abortion, and you will under another chapter we can criminal harm to a person, and no be now be which makes a criminal harm to a person. Nearby. Assault and similar offenses. And no Bobby ebia assault without actual battery and now so if you are back kidnapping adoption any other offenses and your sexual offenses you know your rape or definition of rape until we hear rape no or can na wa kire say enti no emra no aye criminal offenses no ene abosirimu kan enye de wo adwene wo say emra no ankasa no access the way besi go about it enti no the judge has a limited interpretative powers because obehe enti na ohwe ye ko school no ye teacher o ka kire say lecturer no ka kire say when it comes to criminal law it is mathematics 1 + 1 ebe ma wo say 2 ebia wo de 3 + 1 4 sanity and yes or ingredients na more specific outcome
not just say you can't judge's discretionary first interpretation na and no and I say judge's interpretation let me not use the word discretion that's interpretation na and criminal your friend say law
the provisions can still be interpreted but you can only say it become easier for them when there's illustration to say here act no be ma law no more definition I feel no more examples no I illustrate actually say ebia and so much abcd fa na say obi atoboabo otobo na ise nti obecheche bibia mu ewa ha ndu free ho a no aba ndu he a ebia yehu carnal knowledge no achechum the way sitie indecent assault on carnal knowledge no acho the way sitie insects no acho the way sitie ndu free ho a now if you aside oko ABA offenses be this annexed appropriation then watch the way it's here and so no aba stealing no more definition of stealing what are the elements you need to establish when you want to go about it about fraudulent breach of trust false pretense no church or the way it's here and we are no aside wako yefa forgery no aba what owie ni na na wasa cho say bibi e no special offenses and some of the special offenses no be no work can say causing loss damage and injury to property it will anyway high and now and mega say te ka wo de ka bia ofi say abanya pade de e dan baby na wo de papa dia na no say minim say no achi say wa hwe de a catch be ahuru agira status big says I will no bugu minim baby aso no go say I will follow but it happens
yes
and I say bia obi kra timi aye kwan na we no tutu mo say ade a ska ko spirit do nti bia na adwene kra nko say your properties ya or cause harm to ebe and na ye wodi nti ho no na ye free ho a ya ba o my chapter 4 ha no say offenses concerning the administrative of justice. Into one was state waha and wabobo all the offenses that will come under that.
Wait a minute,
and a bit to say perjury. And to hear more, and oko section 210 of the Act 29 a ho and obo perjury ni a hon sensem no oka ho asem ho anti edu ho a o say ka say perjury first of all no say e ka so be a committee perjury o say a second degree offense or na second degree felony let me explain it here there's a thing about perjury no anti perjury ma menche mutwi ni say e antrodi say wodi atro anti wo he definition a o tro say obetro bibi anase wankasa obeka adokro a wankasa wan check it ana wo kan no under oath nti wa be swear under oath na asem na wo kan ehu na esen ka wo check ana wan check ana wo waka nti wo so kan either against a public officer against the president or before a commission of inquiry and answer before the judge. Oh yes, sir. What the atro? And no can say, and whom ascertain a bit my second degree felony.
And no, and who instance one is saying.
See, we hear every offense or crime be able commit biano. Yeah, classify and answer, categorize it into misdemeanor, no about first degree, no about second degree, no about be a capital offenses. Now we here sections in section 3 we have, but even before that, Omawo aware say a can this misdemeanor no offenses are we do be kwa koda prison embro 3 years.
3 years.
Inti that's all the two terms are. So offenses are and first degree ni there. It is a life imprisonment. And a second degree no and you can say bro 10 years.
And I know she
and
so we bet to me 18 tro not 10 years.
Sana law no e kanye de me kan no emra no na ese. But uba even under the Act 30 no osaka say because of until me can be say offenses no upese ubi committee near go through trial no it could be summary trial and it could be inductable trial. The inductable trial no is when the offense the punishment will be high and order. Until yes judges no will be involved no certify who say I did not ye no ye nipa no ko da prisoner no ko enti uba Act 30 no oka say it could be even before the district court or a high court. Now say high court no realize say obi a committee perjury no committee that person into perjury no no he will start a trial which is indictable trial and I say the judge no bet me decide say okay I will sentence the person to prison and that one no say one committee one go through the indictable trial there or the man only 6 months in prison.
Okay.
So this is it. So you die in prison or you can also be fined.
Okay.
But say and it happens at the level of a case before the court. Once I can say all these offenses are offenses that happen when there is a matter and I say asem wo court wa. The can say judge no asem sia oni ho. But ono na ebebu asem no with a specific lens. And the lens dem ma o metum futuro nya den enwu ani. If you say the decision of the judge no edo bi betima ko prison na o mabiem. Fa na say bia ya akizu obi say yete ha ana say obi akoshutu obi na afi de na kodam but dem say nya aban bi na beba ana wo hu mobo na wo apade wo amwa udemu a we osofo we konfo obi amfa sana de net enti judge no in the process no otimi ehu say ade America ni nyina ye no correct enti you would come to give evidence in support of whatever party is before the court, whether the prosecution you want to be a witness for the prosecution or you want to be a witness for the accused person. A mediator. And you know, if we want to also charge you for perjury, we will charge you the gravity of the punishment will be the matter that was before the court. So for instance, when you commit perjury before a matter, the matter no be a murder or rape, then you could see that we will not joke with it. So this, but otherwise that's a serious matter. And in our other part of the law, no, I can say it could be under a first degree offense. It could also be a second degree offense, and can equally be a misdemeanor.
Okay. But who church a perjury no mo say a entrobia sebe ubibeka against your friend say the president and I say judge and I say somebody in high office inti anampacho.
Okay. The matter what you say and say you my friend say what can throw in the presence and I said two. To say for instance a judge.
Okay.
The judge what can throw to the judge. So it
is not about.
It's not about. No. Yes, what can throw. It's the person that you are deceiving. and you know Tina be deceiving a public officer. Inter police for no teams or more. I'm just a man for be also or bomb attack. Also, you were deceiving a public officer. A sanity and see. Oh, control. Ada nipa, and now we yet show nipa. Until so control that a public officer, a judge, and the president, or maybe a committee. Or commission of inquiry.
Okay. Because now, me person me asa clarity. Na person me who say eye entra ye twa fa warm. Nti eye entra ye twa atre warm.
Sir.
Sebio ebema in their decision making no.
Very good.
Entra ye and I say be to me aha obi.
Wouldn't be about between say I have to go and think about it where. On say a tikrum hai. Ade ni pa dodo no a Eddie Aduma, somebody to a man for 90. Aye. No, my come go for something. About me to say, so be a could you go because such a president or could minister.
I'm sure say it's happening.
See there be a
if I shorty, yen twas so say what about perjury na my ya take perjury na say. Ebika ho biem.
Yes, and you a fabrication of evidence. And see and also say bia. Eno ni nua no ane perjury no ane nenam eche say ye di asem na the gravamen na say ade very important ewo any administration of justice evidence and the rule of the game is evidence na kofa evidence bra no akofa evidence a enim so enti people can set up evidence say omo angasa omo hwe offense bi asia no makope ho no ma de ago and I make me ade ba common mame because I think about it say bi e ka say insurance we can claim insurance na depending on insurance type or why e bi go na comprehensive na afi ube ko utwamu ofia be unsa na ka bi ahye wo hwe ka na ka we ere na timi hye a ya ntimi anya ho hwe e bi timi hye pa de but e bi wo ho so a yetete say bi ko bi ko a wa hye say obetima akogire claim bi akoya ade foforo eno no say no you set the evidence up nti ampa say if ene camera bu a wonimi say be a capture will say ampa one out it means that you fabricated the evidence nti what can one say it could be written, it could be things that you come and talk about it in court.
Okay ma make there say story we are tapping in the situation where Sebu na lawyer be a defend you be na say baby no information be also come done di no oman done edi ye betumi aka say no so ka fabrication ni bi ho and answer sometimes say bia won ko hu evidence no e bia na ade ne da say you but omo pia e bia o sheda ne nine boy and so sheda ye na ade ne free e koda bi.
You see, I think we have two stories be na mane nyo hu say lawyer no at a story bi na lawyer bi peto asase nem say wo oni a few for no and the kabo mu and omoko die enipa ko no omoko to asase nti at a point in time no be of fabricated document in support of that sa no money nyina e ka ho because the point we have brought from they also can say who a person who fabricates evidence and this is the last time I spoke about say every crime know your intention and then the act. So I say with the intent to defeat to obstruct and pervert the course of justice in a proceeding would now commit a criminal offense and is liable to the same penalties and as if the person had committed a perjury. In the present time, can say any perjury in for almost no. It's all kind of say the bottom line. Say, Ubama asemna ye kano. I and as alcohol soon any son ever cano. And the soon ye need a honey I a fish room. Alcohol you say fish room. Into anything I bear obstruct it will pervert the administration of justice. That will be fabrication.
And say no number 2.
And the last one, another one na say can was sermons. And one thing you also know say although say would you nim wo ha nyina na say koba say ya cheka say a criminal offense I commit I happen ni nyina ye say makwa akwacho and e actual the way esitie and but another form I say be sermon nti normal menu when we sermon to
samana
sama o sama obi so omra court oba say ebia yahu so a commit offense bia say obapie before the court so that the court can put him through trial and I say yeah trial and at a point in time you say who be here say so now usually no obi o ha office e wonye boni bia na court there or fro say bra be menko to what yes amount and I say yes amount no amba obi so ofie ho no prevent say member one a offense and no say capture under this actor and also
inti your friend is saying and a forgery so account it's not forgery ne fabrication of evidence no AI the same I believe
yeah but I here it's also part but the law was specific under the fabrication of the evidence but the forgery too is also another offense that you can also commit.
Inti, can you take us through some of the penalties and I say if you commit any of these?
Yes. Inti, say them say kind of where di kan aboso. Omo wo hu. Say punishment no. Say oye bia. E betima say first degree and one mention say oye nso a second degree. For instance no where sika fabrication of evidence na. Omo say if the matter before the court looking at the matter no say me can say be a rape and I say a murder the outcome of it a capital punishment and I say be life imprisonment nti ho no so commit perjury the court might decide to commit you to an indictable trial which the outcome could be a first degree of felony the same way no, if through the process you had actually fabricated evidence, and also say the punishment should be as thank you of first degree of felony. No, so can you hear section 152 of Act 30 or explaining another interesting point we will need to look at it and see what say finally say before a court. If the person appeared to be guilty of a perjury in a proceeding before the court has two options. The first option is to commit the person for trial on indictment for the perjury and bind any other person by that person recognizance and also give evidence at the trial. When say you can't say bill nisika. But we be the cover two tissue, and it's the cut two tissue for bail. Now, ABS will work committee offense means you will bill no the amount and 900,000. Very interesting provision I've read, and 900,000. And any panel, your money bill no go fee back court. And waba in the proceeding air court and say, yeah, who say the person before the trial no cry no more evidence no or no cry no and trunk one as will catch the court. Now, court's provision is when it happens like that, you put the person up. Who are the partner who sign it and say, would they say or jumpy bill no, which you ask? Yes, or no, you ever boost as a for evidence, court. Say a crime person no need pay or no back court and trunk one will try. Yeah, one thing. That's another option. The second option say the judge, the court, might commit that person to prison for a term not exceeding 6 months, with or without hard labor. Or, depending on the discretion of the judge at that point, we impose a fine not exceeding 150 penalty units, or impose both the fine and imprisonment.
What can a witness as seminar bibia besi metem? Say ye friend me say mimbedi a dansie e wo court a ana so mpo say me ma witness crime bi na eno nti ebia ye friend me wo court but my imagine say me the court there me nko even though ebia am pass me hunu ye na me gina ho e na asem ni see ye me to me akase menko can I refuse?
And I can how I say part of it. So when you look at it, you're talking about first of all causing a witness to disobey sermons, and they have causing the person to refrain from giving evidence, and then we have also disobedience to sermons as a witness. And now what can I say? A person who without reasonable excuse defaults in obeying any sermons, process, or order lawfully issued or made for the attendance of that person as a witness in a judicial proceedings or for the production by that person of a written or any other evidence in a judicial proceedings will commit a misdemeanor. To then they more but I say okoda prison 2 years because enough for more.
Enough for more. But is it not against young Kwajin Kratoba ye ba no be sa question. Ye mra no so saying e wo UTV so e na wo hwe ye Kwajin Krato ye ba na ye to ye dwumedie ne so. Hwe mra no so saying e wo UTV so ye nkoma ye bo efifa the offenses against the offenses concerning the administration of justice and a lawyer actually mu be a perjury, disobeying of summons, fabrication of evidence ne forgery and na wo chechwem na ye kono na me wo chiremu say sebio ye fro se bedi adanse na se wankwa na se so wudi adanse na wankwa na wo refuse so obekwa wutumi kwadem na is it not against my personal right and as an individual me right me wo can't I plead the fifth me hu de na aso me pese meka.
So when you the most can't I plead the fifth outcome your right to remain silent as captured in the Constitution. I just say who assembly the above and Americans will be the assembly. The person has the right or no the duties not here no right or no duty say or proving the offense against you.
Against me.
Here yankas why born you. Yes say
bedi adanse
because won ye hewa wona betima boa ama asem no yetimi abua the pepepe. That is what we are talking about. Nti enye wono we have a sermon.
Adanse ni ne de na make say.
Ana make an say na wo abedi adanse do better kasa won kasa.
Say what dance wo se me medi adanse ba me pese medi adanse. Asem na fa me ho ntimi de metem baby.
Emfa.
Emfa me.
Na asem be na e wo kroma henfo bi ho. Asem bi afo bi ho.
Me pese me de ma no betu.
Emra no ana say ye frewa court afro.
Nti e your share.
So
therefore unti nya can say if obi refuse say obema witness abua ama
here there's a caveat. I just have to mention the caveat. The caveat is that if you say you don't want to come, the reason given should be reasonable. That is what he's saying. So the person who without reasonable excuse default. I don't cry and say I believe. Probably when it comes to the interpretation, it doesn't show say membo. But ebia you can say brand na what's abaye and now you can do to hospital.
But what if I fear for my life? Ebia na misro, ebia na sebe mafia bina chese woma committee yin for ebia misro me woma anase bibi say. Ti misro say ebia na me koka asem ni bia na fe they will come after me.
Seven, Cromo in a 10 branch visual information about my boy. Assembia. I see Croma and what train was on his uncle. And minim the police I have and then 79. By a marine was uncle. Every day who be painting a boss or the bar. No way near to or see Bribia or there some coin. And go wumpo, Sanabia or Cassa. My life will go through danger. And you know that I believe you have the right to say so. Some of them bad there. More a certain kind of protection. Say I'm a bar, meet my. Of course, I believe say that could be a reasonable excuse. Say no. I mean, you can have presidents say BS that into me bar. Me can say me bo. because ka so man no na e ka no me ga say me baba
no say some mutia say o ka say wo nkọ de na crime
anyway ha no
crime e bra no ahye say
misro meeting no mo mo me ho ban because even when you talk about your right as a human, fundamental human right, entitle you to liberty, no, already open. There's a exception to it. Any biano. So what could you want any police prisoner? Wouldn't you mean I say my fundamental human right is as a minimum package? You can't say that. That is the only time where it's me confined with them. Rano, I'm a home quine. Say I'm confined.
Okay, Matias. Inti say ye who perjury dear, ye who say me say your friend saying we are dancing in a frost could ya dance in 1 year and it's by ye shed disobeying of sermons. I'm saying it will still come under the witness
and thing. So I don't know much on but there was another one. Say even causing a witness to disobey the sermon. See it her. I think I also watched something now. Police any information say enkofobi ohana omoye boni na woduru ho na fa na se bia wo ye so mu no ozu me mane kramba nti no wo kan say a person who willfully causes another person to disobey any sermons any process or order. There could be even order.
Nti awo for mo atifie na bia wo ba kodi bone se bia na say ye frɛ oba so omra court na oba na wache oba na hyedem say uni ho no bone
akaka bensem no made for the attendance of that person as a witness in a judicial proceedings or for the production by that person for a witness a written order or other evidence in a judicial proceeding who commit misdemeanor sir. So
no so ne ho
not the punishment will not be more than 3 years imprisonment. Share ne krabata ba konsuni was say causing person to refrain from giving evidence. And bia no kwa there and I can say makona menkasa. Or say a person who would intend to defeat and the same way obstruct or pervert the course of justice at the trial of a person. And you will say a trial of a person for a criminal offense will causes any other person to refrain from giving evidence at a trial or commit misdemeanor.
Yeah, can witnesses ya mami fa we in betrim. Say usually ye kasa obi ebia couples awafo anase ebia obi ni obi omo together no ebia ne partner no entumi ko dia dance against the person and a lawyer yes anete
what can I say me tia say I don't know
say obi ni obi aware no mo ho a oyure anase okunu ebetumi akodi dance sebi ebetumi etia ne partner no.
So where every matter ebano the a dance and for instance if I have a matter before the court except a civil matter and now if it is about me in a criminal matter I decide not to talk at all and the court takes it so it's my right to
remain silent.
It's my right and nobody can disturb that right. Now it can also be a civil matter and then if me do her, I'm supposed to adduce evidence. But like I say, I'm not going to adduce or produce any evidence. Many evidence concerning the matter, especially when I have noticed any panel or press of Nabano. On to me a movie case, no baby. I won't bother. Now, a nipa bia or I said yes, yeah, canon. Nipa bia, no matter who the person is. So impo ubampo na wokan. The law says that. You shouldn't shed another one and prevent any pacono any men stopping from giving evidence that will support the court. And I said, I will be the Unu Kukodi Bonia. And I said, no, I work won't carry.
Maybe some way because of BBA, your friend spousal, your friend is saying, is it spousal privileges? Said then, say, be a menone damn personty, your bon commois, may become a bon sabia and ye juma. Maybe sa. If your friend say witnesses yimu say sebiu obi ko di bone na say bia ne ho kafo eba na say bi obema your friends dance die ewe try ye be fa sa asem no
especially when we are talking about criminal matters Into for criminal matters, the court.
There's nothing like spousal privileges.
The court. Yes. If it's good, you have to bring it to support the process.
Okay. In say in the forgery in so forgery and the forgery fabrication of evidence in boom.
Yes. And the said them over fabrication of evidence no were putting under the offenses that will be against the what did you call it? So we have other offenses, but when we talk specifically offenses against administration of justice, fabrication, or say, here is what they talked about, saying a person who fabricates evidence with the intent to defeat, obstruct, and pervert the course of justice in the proceeding, commit a criminal offense, and is liable to the same penalties as if that person had committed a perjury in that proceeding. And now listen to the definition. So the definition is what saying a person fabricates evidence if that person causes circumstances to exist or makes a false entry into a book, an account, or record, or makes a document containing a false statement, or forges any. Into the forges a document with the intent to mislead a public officer, a judge, a juror acting in judicial proceedings. So take it this way. Into a mayor who, when we talk about fabrication of evidence, which a forgery become a subset of the fabrication of evidence, and one mayor who all the things that you do in this case that constitute a fabrication of evidence. Now say, you ubet me ama BBSia NC. And as I had an old obstructed justice, would they perverted the course of justice, and they say would be defeated because a bit mama make a decision. Let's think A now could be A1. Secondly, or say you also make false entry into a book, into ABR doc and so we account and a one cast of aqua the S or person and so and after what forged document and anchors. On say very interesting thing about this. When you see
local forging of documents, you can have see where a lot of times no say be obi wa na ebia na nebusuano yet to say be a mame ba kwa nas papa ba kwa nyo no kwa na ebia there are other children involved from so obi hu na ebusuafo ni bia na se nkra ni bi etumi koye nkrata e ba say will no say netie na obi so nti obi hu na ni papa kwa we hu na will na say nkrata de japade no e be mi
obi akra ni de o de nam dum because papa bi o popular the minister bi we na or no say yes we na yan we di road no cry no na ni nwa bi afa ade ba ko bi no de nam dum o ton enti
lawyer o kasa say me kwamre eda no me say ye wie case ya na obi approach me na nipa ne say ye wo mra no na we ebusua so mra enti ti say na wo ken nipa ne wo na ni nuanom no a start fe japade because wo mu ye ebusua so yo yere kra na wo mu no mu ye ebusua no
it's just say yeah mrano I hope that I wouldn't have to understand as me say the my because we have culture and you have custom and even the constitution allow for customary provisions to some certain extent. But where there's a specific act prohibiting or allowing certain actions won't na ho fie na ho fie kura kwanwa aka say abusuafo wo mra abusuafo mra no eniha because even the principle of law says that customary law no writing in the intro no eno kra no to establish it no ye can sem bebre ni yakọ for example na adwo mansamu na nanom kwatena ha na enti emu I prove no ewa but I do a church and one who's a say no for cry. And to fear asem. And you won't be BM. A japade will be a way to a japade. Patapankwa.
Uncle Biabefa.
Our jaya cry. Patapankwa. Oh, Yako will be a issue certificate. I got certain. Now, observe pregnancy to baby say, Meno. This say, Mobamaho. And Sana.
Or Bowie, one fan and be charming to me.
But and even our Yawari and Umpo. And I bring back to the constitution allow certain level of customary marriage to prevail. But say who decided say who deviate a certain level. And you'll be at Nubusuani or Busia penny, a bunihene. There was a case, a decision now. A happy year when whether a civil person, let me say an individual, who is not a what do you call it, attorney general, and I say a police, can prosecute a perjury. A case happening here. So, see, I can say from our beginning of learning criminal law, no, you say every criminal proceedings is initiated and conducted by the attorney general or delegated person. And imagine, say, in the presence of or in the proceedings, and I won't say why established will be a control. The question was that. Any payer okay, we're trying to drop because I mean in the beginning of every case management, all the evidence, no. The a babwa case in the more case in I'm running safari in Ama near here. And in the process, no one who said ni pass my okay. What can what done in a no sabe for? And I will prosecution where prosecution witness and we accused person. And I want to say, well, can I boa prosecution? Just go the move. The law is that can you tell the court that the court to commit him into perjury? That was the case that happened here.
And what did the court say? The
court said no, because the principle here said once it's a criminal matter, it is the fair to say attorney general and a initiative conduct. So until the court itself establishes there's a perjury, and you can court no. So there's a contempt of court and there's a perjury. The perjury can also be deemed as a contempt of court because the contempt is everything that will pervert or put the court in disrepute. And do better to control now court no bet make decision court no hold the there was a contempt. So the person came under the principle of Article 126. I just say in common law, the judges can commit contempt to itself. But the court said that no. When it comes to perjury, it's well stated in the two acts, in Act 29 and Act 30. So once it's there, no, it has to be the Attorney General that will bring the matter before the court and say that there's a perjury. And a very interesting part of the evidence when the matter, the person committing perjury is on the prosecution side. Why a bit Maca?
This is maybe have a last question. What about Obia unjustly now or delay your friend say proceedings? Ebia your friend or was so cool, but they be no I'm excuse. And name me a Ghana, Obia, what down for you, a doctor for a golf, and watching a mayor, and excuse duty, and now and they say, name say, you understand? Now the Nina echo just so that me frustrate your friend is saying, case now, echo since they be over corner, adjourning of the case, adjourning of the case, adjourning of the case, and any and no sign so, etiama.
The court has.
And after how many times can a person give an excuse?
No, another 8 minutes hanka. Court, and I have seen it several times. The court itself, and then of course the judge. The lawyer. The act nipano ombrano. Omba. Me who be paying about popular people. Our case in inquiry, but I mean, especially I remember what the judge says. Or ye bibia in now when we are out like this and now 7 bars more minimum and in young kind of cases. But what happens is that those things no court no will be discreet about it, depending, especially the incident that I encountered, because one here any panel and answer more no I dear better now the OT no when demand chichimu. the one thing so no what kind of our council I there actually, but a judge can give you in instances civil cases, for instance, the judge will award a cost to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Into her na and the one but now we need excuse papa. You can either ask for the cost or the judge can.
Because of it, we may excuse say or ya real so you who know we pay or baby.
I said TV say social media or club no. Na what say wa kwa say according status. Near who it's possible.
It's possible. Okay. Meda se pan lawyer say and then so wabet na studio na wa cheche ya boy ama ye nyina me ne mahwefo nyina ye sua bibi. Enti mesre wa say ye be fro say bidi adanse ana say BBC na say okopie o court ahwe na wan kodi ntro ana even to the president ana say any public official be ahwe and wan commit perjury wan kodi ntro wan ko forge e friend say yes samon wo kra na say saman wo a mesre wa wo de ukoduru ho a na wakoyi wa no yetumi ma okofie but ent na wo fie enka say me de mini court eni asebianti menko ni nyina eti amra emra no say e wo UTV so na wahwe enen so yede enase bebre e ma o se mudi mu fidie no ato ha lawyer yede wase bebre say waba aba be kire enti ye sure say de bia ye frɛ wa obeba na wone yen edi edwuman pepe bidin de ekua asante ba mesa lawyer me ne tena ha edi edwuman ye frɛ no Oxford or say Bonsu or your private legal practitioner. The number at the screen so or na ubehu na wafre no na bibi ni a obebwa. Medase bye bye.